I'm the girlfriend of a guy who's Insta-famous, meaning in real life, I'm his partner. But online, I'm like a shadow in the waiting room. If people see me, fine. If they don't, it doesn't affect his personal brand one bit. His name's Colton, 31. Startup expert, influencer, full-time inspiration dealer, part-time philosopher, full-time deep life enthusiast. And me? I'm Jade, 27, UX designer for a dating app called Zinder. Yeah, sounds like Tinder, but with personality quizzes. Like find your match through self-awareness. Sounds like I've got it all together, right? But then I went and fell for a guy who basically lives like a walking, talking content marketing strategy. We met at a startup conference in Austin. I was tagging along with my boss, and Colton hit the stage looking like he just stepped out of a Build Your Future poster at WeWork. His talk was titled, The Secret to Scaling Yourself, From Zero to Awakening. I don't remember much of what he said, but I do remember thinking, okay, not bad. Bright eyes, clean shave. All right, Jade, you deserve a high-quality trap. After the event, he made the first move. His smile was as bright as a successful fundraising campaign. That night, he texted me. The next morning, he sent a quote, "Sincerity is the ultimate luxury in the modern world." All I could think was, damn, I just got baited hard. Those first few months, I've got to admit, Colton really knew how to make you forget the scent of red flags. He booked rooftop dinners with lavender flowers, scented candles, and an indie playlist I'd never heard before, but still nodded along like, this is our song. I'd come home tired from work, and he'd send voice notes reading poetry he wrote himself. Stuff like, "You are the balance point between the journey and the direction." All I wanted to reply was, "Are you my GPS or what?" Every time we went out, Colton would tell me, "Keep your phone. I've got the visuals." And he really did handle them. Just made sure not a single trace of me made it into the frame. His Instagram was always glowing, beige, gray success vibes. Captions like, "Freedom is the most seductive weapon. Focus isn't a condition, it's a standard. The truest love is when you love yourself." Reading it felt like scrolling through mindset course slides. At first, I figured maybe he just wanted to keep things private. I'm not the showy type anyway. My Instagram is all dog memes, TikTok fail videos, and burnt pancake pics. But over time, I started feeling like the anonymous girlfriend in a vlog series called Live Bold, Be Single, Crush Life. One time, I gently asked him, in that mature, calm relationship tone, "Do you ever plan on posting anything about us?" Colton took a sip of his herbal tea, probably some kind of detox, and said, "Babe, real love doesn't need to be proven. Don't turn emotions into content. We're more than just a caption." I almost choked on my toast. Excuse me? So what are we then? A hidden feature in your beta version? More and more, I started to feel invisible. Even though we were together every weekend, my name was never mentioned. Even when we had dinner, I only showed up as a reflection in a wine glass. Even after sharing literally everything about my life, I didn't get so much as a single dot on his story. I began to suspect something. I didn't yell, didn't confront, but I wasn't blind either. Then one night, Colton fell asleep on the couch after brainstorming with the creative team. His phone was face down, but the screen kept lighting up. I didn't touch it, just glanced, like someone walking past a small fire. Each time it lit up, it was a different username, Miss.Align Soul Blooming Wild in Flow. I didn't know who they were, but I knew for damn sure I wasn't the babe in those messages. I wasn't angry. I just sat there watching Colton sleep soundly, hair a little messy, legs still resting on the blanket I'd folded. I didn't confront him. But right then I started downloading a brand new thought into my brain. Not, is he cheating on me? But, am I in love with a person? Or dating his personal brand? I'm not the type who goes looking for drama. But I'm also not the type to sit still when drama sends me a friend request. After that night, the one where his phone lit up like a tiny nightclub, I sat up, opened my laptop, and activated the IT skills I only use when it's time to track which ex liked whose photo at 2 a.m. I created Nova. 26. An influencer who shares about wellness, balance, and spiritual growth. The kind of person who poses with incense and captions it with inner peace monologues. I borrowed photos from an old classmate, Mara, who now lives in Alaska, raising either salmon or bears, I forget. The key thing, she's off social media. A gift from the universe. Nova had soft brown waves, wore beanies, linen neutrals, and was always tagged at juice bars with names like Bloom or Rooted and Raw. I posted a few pics with captions like, "Healing isn't linear, but my skincare routine is. I don't chase, I align." Followed Colton at 10:32 a.m. on a Sunday. 11:41, Colton followed back. First message, hey, you seem super grounded. Would love to connect sometime. I love your energy. Oh, Nova's energy? That was Photoshop and 4 filters. But he didn't need to know that. And just like that, we started connecting energies. He sent a sun emoji and called Nova his light. Meanwhile, I was typing with one hand, eating butter popcorn with the other, thinking, Jade, you're the actual girlfriend, and you've never even been called the sun. 2 days into chatting, Colton sent Nova a poem. By the 3rd line, I nearly choked on my drink. It was a word-for-word copy of the one he handwrote for me on our first Valentine's. Only difference, Jade had been swapped out for Muse. I didn't know whether to be mad or impressed by his content recycling skills. But then, a few days later, Colton asked Nova out. And not just anywhere, to a sushi spot Jade had once been to, and nearly had to call 911 from because of a raw shrimp allergy. I stared at the message for a few seconds. Not because I was shocked, but because it was the perfect piece of evidence for just how deep Colton's copy-paste game in love really went. But it didn't stop there. One evening, Colton texted Nova, let's meet this Saturday. There's this new fusion place I've been dying to try. My eyes narrowed like a movie character decoding secret intel. Fusion place? Saturday? I pulled up my calendar. Saturday was our 2-year anniversary. I smiled. A quiet ah echoed in my head. A solid okay bet rang in my chest. His next message to Nova, I'll be in a gray denim shirt, easy to spot. And I wanted to reply, and me, I'll be wearing the truth. But no, Nova is calm. I turned off the screen, set the phone down, then picked it back up, opened the front camera, and looked at myself in the mirror. No makeup, messy hair, wearing avocado print pajamas. I looked straight into the lens and whispered like the start of a movie trailer. All right, gray denim, I'll wear. Attitude. Next scene? Saturday night. Same restaurant. One person looking for a muse, the other here to reclaim the clarity that had been photoshopped out of her. I'd never prepped this hard for a date. Not to impress, but because I was about to do something every past version of me had always dodged. Face the truth, eyeliner sharp. I got to the restaurant at 6:40. 20 minutes early, not out of excitement, but to claim the seat with the clearest view of the bar. Just as I expected, Colton was already there. Gray denim shirt, hairstyled in that effortless but obviously planned way. He was sitting there, swirling an old-fashioned, that strong, edgy cocktail I'd never seen him order before. With me, it was always Pinot Noir, because it pairs well with risotto and your vibe. Right? My vibe was wine. Nova's vibe was strong, bold, unpredictable. Thanks, Colton, for categorizing emotions like ad-targeting segments. I sat far off, behind a giant potted plant. Watched him check his phone 3 times in under a minute, fix his hair like he was filming a silent story, and cross his legs like a CEO waiting on a partner meeting. Except he was waiting on someone who didn't exist. 6:59. I stood up, walked like it was an action movie slow-mo scene, except my shoes were stiff and the floor was kind of slippery. 7. I tapped his shoulder. Colton turned around, smile popping up like it was preloaded. You're early. I tilted my head, smiled back. No, I'm right on time. 7 p.m., our 2-year anniversary. And you came early to meet Nova, right? His smile froze for 0.3 seconds, then quickly shifted into a kind of startled meditation face. Babe, I thought you'd appreciate the surprise. I sat down across from him, calmly took out my phone and switched accounts. Nova's profile lit up the screen. He looked at it, eyes doing a full-on panic scan. I slid the screen closer. Pretty sure this was Nova's seat, right? Colton swallowed hard. Jade, you think I didn't know? I knew it was you all along. I was just playing along, seeing what you'd do. I blinked. Oh, so in this little game you invited me, sorry Nova, to the exact same restaurant as our anniversary, ordered a cocktail you never drink, wore a gray shirt to be easy to spot, and told her you were single? He opened his mouth, then closed it, like a crashed browser faced with a question requiring an IQ over 20. Colton tried to salvage whatever dignity he had left in the sleeves of his denim shirt. Just hear me out. This is part of a brand strategy. The brands I partner with, they like the image of freedom. Independence, no attachments. I raised an eyebrow. Oh yeah? And those girls you texted Good Morning Sunshine at 1 a.m.? Which brand sponsored that? Vitamin D? Colton gave that awkward half laugh, the kind that says, come on, don't make this a thing. You're overthinking it. It's all just networking. Flirting can be part of building connections. It's not serious. No one's ever crossed into my real life, except you. I nodded, pressed my lips together. then reached into my bag and pulled out the leather bracelet, the one he gave me for Christmas with the note that said, "Forever Us." I placed it on the table. Calm. No drama. This probably still works. Giving it back to you. Might go well with the gray denim. Or be a nice prop for your next Instagram post. Healing after betrayal, new drop soon. Colton stayed silent. His eyes were scanning for a way to spin the narrative. But this time, I wasn't letting him pick the filter. I was holding the camera, and I chose real light. I walked out of that restaurant, heels slightly blistered, head strangely weightless. No tears, no table slamming, no Netflix-style monologue. I just walked away, like someone who had just completed the checkout process from an expired relationship. I didn't post anything. No thirst traps, no "I'm fine" captions under a sad selfie with an orange filter. I kept it all private, just the way Colton always wanted our relationship to be on social media, invisible. But apparently Colton wasn't used to my silence. Or maybe my silence bruised his personal brand more than his ego could handle, because just a few days later his Instagram blew up, flooded with melodramatic posts that felt straight out of an AI script called Wounded Man Energy. First story, a black and white photo of a lonely guy staring out a window. Definitely a stock image. Caption: I was betrayed by the person I trusted most. Sometimes the one you love the most is the one who destroys your faith in love. Wait, what? You just got exposed. By your own words. By the girlfriend who stuck around for 2 years. And now you're role-playing the victim? Next post, a carousel of quotes about trust, heartbreak, and a short, heartfelt confession. She created a fake account to test me. That's what hurt the most. If you love someone, you shouldn't have to test them. I read it and just let out a soft laugh. One of those, well played, deep performance kind of laughs. It would have ended there if some of our mutual friends didn't start picking sides. One messaged me like, "Jade, I don't know what really happened, but Colton seems genuinely heartbroken. He looks so real. So real. Like that raw salmon sushi I was allergic to. Looked fresh, but sent me straight to the ER. But I didn't need to clap back. I was ready. Every screenshot, every message, even the gray denim shirt, easy to spot one, all neatly saved in a private album titled When Brand Meets Karma. And then, like every main character in a romantic drama with a dash of dark comedy, an unexpected side character entered the chat. Haley, the girl who once messaged Nova with, "Hi, just curious, are you seeing Colton?" reached out again, this time from her real account. "Jade, I know what happened. And I think I was a Nova too. Same script, same sushi place, same line. I've been single for a while, just haven't met the right person yet." I didn't know whether to thank her or apologize. But one thing was clear. Colton had been running the same script across multiple beta tests, just changing the lead character's name. I hopped on a Zoom call with Haley, in pajamas but eyeliner on, out of respect for a fellow ally, and we started compiling a list of Colton's systematic patterns. Calls everyone his muse. Takes them to sushi. Says he's been hurt because he loved too early. And the classic? Claims he's super selective about posting girlfriends out of respect for their privacy. I figured it was time to shine a light straight through his filters. So I wrote a post on the subreddit r/red flags and dating fails. Ty catfished my boyfriend to test his loyalty, and it cracked his personal brand. The post wasn't dramatic. I told it straight, like a UI bug report. Clear structure, screenshots included, with annotated examples. The result? Nearly 10K upvotes in 2 days, over 2,000 comments from people who had met Colton, dated Colton types, or just showed up to say, "Girl, you deserve better." Like, way better. One comment actually made me laugh out loud. He's not building a brand, he's building a museum of red flags. More and more people started sharing their own stories of being fooled by Colton's single and deep persona. Someone said they matched with him on Bumble. Someone else said they'd worked with him, and that he once told them, "Loving someone is a weakness." For the first time, I felt light. Not because I was being supported, but because I finally knew. I wasn't the only one he manipulated. And then, without me lifting a finger, the drama escalated on its own. A wellness brand that had partnered with Colton quietly removed posts tagging him. A well-known influencer, someone who used to repost his quotes, shared a new caption. Authenticity is not a filter and definitely not a strategy. I opened Instagram and saw that Colton had unfollowed Nova. Every photo Nova had liked, gone. People say, a man only truly regrets when he starts losing what he can't control. And with Colton, that was happening in real time. He was losing control of his image, the one thing he loved more than anyone. The drama went quiet for about 3 days. Just enough time for me to clean up my apartment, put on fresh sheets, and unfollow a few toxic things, including an account named Colton Motivates. And then Colton started his reflection arc. First story, a photo of me reading by the window, one he took last year. Caption, the realest things are often what we lose. He didn't say why he lost them, didn't tag any guilt, but he did tag me. I didn't say a word, just calmly tapped untag, like removing a rivet from an old jacket. 5 minutes later, a flood of stories, quotes, sad music, a recap video of our old photos. Colton was acting like he'd been left behind, when he was the one who held a full casting call for the role of new girlfriend, while quietly cutting me out of the script. And then came the thing I least expected, a handwritten letter. 6 pages. Blue ink. I opened it. The first line read, "Jade, you're the reason I became a better version of myself." I let out a breath, not out of emotion, but the kind of sigh that says, "Oh, here we go again, bro." The next line read, "If you're not ready to forgive me, I understand. But if there's a chance to restart, let it begin with honesty." I folded the letter and dropped it in the trash, the recycling bin to be exact, because I still care about the environment, even if I couldn't protect love from recycled lines. That night, I told my best friend, Zoe. She looked at me, exhaled like a therapist on her 5th coffee. So what's she gonna say? I didn't even think. Just shrugged and said, "Wish him all the best building his personal brand, alone." Zoe clapped, laughing loud. Yes, that's the spirit. I didn't need revenge, didn't need a post, didn't need to prove I'm fine, because honestly, I was fine. Fine doesn't mean painless. It means knowing how to walk through the pain without turning yourself into the victim in your own story. The next morning, I stepped out of my apartment. The sun was soft, the breeze just strong enough to toss my hair into that effortless, I wasn't trying, but still nailed it kind of look. I didn't look back, not because I was trying to leave something behind, but because there was nothing back there worth seeing. I wasn't starting over, I was just continuing, the life that had been paused for someone who never had the courage to live his own truth. And if you're still listening now, thank you for coming with me all the way to the end. Not to judge, but to see this for what it is. Sometimes, walking away isn't weakness. It's clarity. It's knowing when not to sink any deeper. I chose silence. I chose to walk away at the right time. But what about you? If it were you, what would you do if you found out your partner had staged an entire performance on Instagram? Drop a comment below the video. I read them all. And who knows, maybe the next story I tell will be yours. Thank you for listening to my story. See you next time.